big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping the deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping the deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what to tap it.
What's poppin', everybody? Top of the top to you. I know we are running a little bit late, but I do have a child home sick today from school. Well, she's not a child. She's kind of like, a pre-adult, if you will. She is home today, and so I had to make sure that she was settled before I came on here and started dropping all of this hot Henny into your coffee mug first thing in the morning. So I know we did not do Spike Coffee on Saturday, and I do apologize for that, but I did go live on my IG, which is why you should be following me on IG at Hennessy Reviews, the same name. But that does not take away from the things that I have seen going down in these internet streets over this weekend, because it seems like there's a lot of foolery that is going on, narratives that are being spun, and everyone is doing the most. If you ask me, it's a lot going on. I did run a 20-hour, yes, it was 20 hours 20 hours of Wack. It was a wackathon. It was. And some people were able to stay on. Some people were not able to stay on. Some people popped in, popped out. Some people fell asleep on the broadcast. And, salute and shout out to everybody. Even if you popped in, popped out for a minute, stayed for a second, thought that it was just one video, and it actually turned out that it was multiple videos, because I created a whole playlist just so that I could expose the exposer the way that I have exposed the exposer. And that was just a year's worth of stuff. And that wasn't even all of it. I think that if I put all of the information out there that I have been involved in, even the collaborations that I have done with other content creators to expose him, y'all would probably still be there right now, to this day, to this moment, listening to all of this information, and it's court docs, and it's just catching him in lies and all types of stuff. But over the weekend, there has been new narratives that have come out and been spun when it comes down to Big U. And I'm just curious, why is it that the first thing that people do is they want to place a homosexual label on someone? And they want to weaponize that. Y'all don't find that odd? Like, for me, every time Wack is involved with something, when it comes down to a person, they have to have this stigma placed on them. And it's like, it's become this thing where people are speaking out loud and projecting their phobias onto other people. And this time, and I kind of wanted to say this, but I'm going to get into this right now so we could get it done and get it out the way. Y'all know that y'all have placed this man in the courts of public opinion and have tried and convicted him already. The feds haven't even charged Big U with a body. Yet all over the internet, I'm seeing people speaking of him being the mastermind of unalivings. And I'm just a bit confused as to how this is okay. Maybe you guys can help me out down here in the comments, because y'all know how we do here on Spike Coffee in the morning. We have a conversation. And I'm just a little, this morning or whatever. But I thought that talking about stuff that was not in paperwork, I thought that that was off limits. I thought that when you do those things, that was considered to be snitching. And so we sat up here and we let Wack get away with doing that. We let 600 get away with doing that. And we continue to make content out of them. Even I myself right now this morning am making content out of Wack. And it's coming to a point with me where I'm wondering, where's the line? What else is there to expose? They've already exposed themselves and played themselves so much. And a lot of these narratives that are being put out there are being put out there by none other than Wack 100. Wack started this whole thing about the DNA being underneath Big U's fingernails. He pushed it. The mother may have said it. The mother may have said it, but he pushed it. And so it went around and it started going viral and all of that, right? But we did not have any paperwork. So instead of people calling out, yo, this is like some snitch work, some snitch activity or whatever, and this is just me giving my opinion on things. Instead of people calling that out, people started making it thumbnails and making it titles and making it. People started making it a topic of conversation. Hold on. Instead of not wanting to be a part of any of those scenarios. So it kind of like baffled me as to how are we allowing the narratives to be spun. While this unaliving is brought up in the paperwork, the DNA is shoddy. It's not even, sorry, you guys, let me just put these phones. I don't like to put my phones on silent only because I never know when an important call is going to come in. But the DNA is shoddy. And they have not charged him with the murder. When they read off how much time he's going to get down in the bottom of that paperwork, the murder was not in there. It was talked about in the paperwork, yes. But the murder is not in the Fed case, okay? So as of right now, he has not been charged with murder. Then I'm listening to and I'm watching all of these comments of people saying he unalived Nipsey. So now this is spinning back around. When I'm going to say it like this. If Eric were to come out now and Eric were to say, oh yeah, it was a setup, I would be side-eyeing his story. Because you got to think about this. Eric Holder was arrested, convicted, tried. He confessed to it. Not only that, he's on video doing it. Not only that, he was getting his ass whooped. Remember, he went to court with that big ass black eye. And with all of that going on, you're going to tell me that he would wait until now to open his mouth to say something? That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm not a part of that lifestyle, that culture. I'm not a part of that life. Okay? Maybe it makes sense to other people, but it doesn't make sense to me that he would wait till now to say something when he's had all this time. It's 2025. So he just sat and kept his mouth closed for 5 years. Like at the end of the day, I don't think people realize that these videos have impact and influence. So when you're out here pushing these narratives while you're looking for a viral moment and you're looking for a click, a like, a view, while you're looking to get your weight up, get your bag up, this man ain't been to trial yet. I think people are forgetting that. He has not been to trial yet, but he's in the court of public opinion and people are already deeming him guilty. What is this going to look like for him in court? I would say, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a part of gang politics. I'm not from Cali. I'm not from any of those places. But as an outsider looking in and an observer of life and a person who has been, out there, what does this look like? Like, how does any of this make sense? When we can go back and watch the trial of Eric Holder. And I'm not saying I'm correct. What I'm saying is, as of this moment right now, based off of the information and the proof that we have in front of us, which is the court trial, court documents, court records, going off of that stuff, not one time did Big U's name come up in that murder investigation. Don't you think that it would have come up that he was a suspect? He wasn't even on their radar. Now we get up here and we use these platforms and we talk about our community. We talk about culture vultures and all of that. But wouldn't it be safe to say that sometimes a culture vulture can be a person that's a part of our own culture, like Wack? We call him an informant. We call him Rat 100. We call him CS2 back. But how about culture vulture be added to that list of shit that we call him? Because at this point in time, we can't deem anybody guilty or innocent of anything. What we can say is we do see that there may be some trumped up charges up in here. Like, some of us can agree that there's some trumped up charges in this Operation Drawdown. We could say that. We could say that, yes, there's wiretaps that are confirming certain situations and conversations that were being had. But we don't even have the whole story on all of that either. We just have a bit and a piece of conversations that were had. And what you've got to remember is they were tapping Big U's phones for how long? They started their investigation into the Rolling 60s in 2020. And in 2020, in August of 2020, and in February 2021 is when they started their investigation into the Big U, quote unquote, enterprise. So from 2021 all the way up into the present, they're tapping his phone. We only got a piece of conversations in these documents. We don't know what else is in those conversations on those recordings. And we've only heard Big U's conversations. We haven't heard Sylvester Robinson's. We haven't heard Bear Claws. We haven't heard any of that stuff be transcribed or mentioned we haven't even really got indictments down on nobody else. All we've gotten is just not indictments, documents on anybody else specifically, because everybody is on one document and everything is being placed on one person's shoulders as the biggest co-conspirator of them all, the conspirer, the main conspirer. So there are things that we can look at and be like, But when it comes down to putting bodies on people, since when is that okay? That's just my question on it. And that's me asking a question off the top of my head as an outsider looking in. Since when is it cool to put a body on somebody without any concrete proof? And since when is it cool to try and convict somebody before they even get tried and convicted by a judge and a jury in a courtroom, in a court of law? Y'all do realize that hasn't happened yet, right? I'm not talking to those of y'all that are in here right now. I'm talking to those people out there that are making this content. Everything is not content. You got to be responsible. Hey, what's up? Super Dub Nation said all this setup shit Wack is doing, but not getting picked up is crazy. This shit mad scary. Wack could get a hat at this point. As long as he's snitching, he's walking. Facts. Salute to Swagger Low. Salute to everybody that is in here. Gold Digger, Miss Pammy, Uniquely, LaDonya, Rose and Gold, Miss Teddy B, Rochelle, Swagger Low, Giving Life, Beyonce's Lace Front, Odd, Yolanda, Bree, Lady E, Sway, Mercedes, Strawberry Whitmore, Yolanda, Charger City, always coming through with the blessings. I appreciate that. Heidi B, Lisa, Peggy M, Lady T on her square biz. Now let's get back into these comments and see what y'all are talking about out here. Okay, Eric might have been said something. He just didn't have the proof. So the police wait. Okay, you make a good point with that, Juan. You make a good point with that because sometimes they wait until they have proof to go off of. Salute to my brother. That's what I said. Great morning back to you. But the thing is, does that even look like a hit to you, Juan? I'm asking. I'm not calling you out. I'm asking. That does not look like a hit to me, like he was sent there to do that. Because if you put yourself in that situation, if you're going there and the goal is to hit somebody, it's an unaliving, a planned unaliving. Are you going to go there and show your face, go get a burger? Even if you talking about you out scoping the scenery, are you going to walk up to your target? Are you going to have a conversation? I'm asking because for me, my understanding of when a person commits a hit, they've already scoped the scenery out. They already know where they're going to lay low. They already got their entry and exit strategy. They've already got everything all marked out. They have a plan A, B, and C already calculated into how they're going to do this when this is a hit. Or they get in and they get out. Sit in the car, wait for him to come. Once he shows up, you walk up on him, bang, bang, bang. If that's the case, he had ample time and opportunity to be able to do the hit when he walked up on him the first time. This is my analogy on it. To me, it just seemed personal and random. That's just my observation on it. But hey, I'm just a girl, so what do I know, right? I'm just a girl, just a woman, just a female. So what the heck do I know? Good morning to everybody. These conspiracy theories is fucking crazy. I agree with you. And it's no offense to anyone that is out there. I'm just saying, since when is this cool? Salute to Gangland Champ up in here. Love and War. Okay, the Bay Area Sideshow Podcast. Is it Gambler? Did I say that right? Because I never say your name, the full name out loud, because I don't know if I'm saying that part right. Wack said it on Clubhouse before that. He does it in phases. That's a fact. Remember, I was playing the video about him saying how he moves in phases. He operates in phases. Well, it looks like the latest phase that he may be on is switching up his narratives. Wack puts gay labels on people he beefs with because Wack's son is a mermaid, or he calls people snitches because that's what he is. Why you went there, Reek? I'm trying to be good. Okay, it's first thing in the morning. I am trying to be good. Okay. Please don't spam the chat. Right, Swagger? Like, wait a minute. I'm staying as far away as possible to have a valid alibi. Period. That was personal, down to the kick in the head. Bro shot him in the head, then kicked. That was personal. Exactly, Dub Nation. That's what I'm saying about it being personal. But it's like, because people want this type of content, like they want something. I don't know. This is like, let me say this right now. In the 90s, people were in love with Cube and Lynch Mob and Snoop and the Dog Pound and NWA. We was loving the whole Cali vibe. But right now, Wack is making Cali look bad. And that makes me sad. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying that, and it's no disrespect to anybody in Cali, because I think Cali is a beautiful place. I think you guys are like your own country within the country, though. Like, and that's why I believe a lot of people are intrigued, because your whole way of life, your gangsterism, your politics, everything is different from any other coast or state. The thing is, Wack made y'all politics content to where people who are not a part of your culture, and not a part of where you're from, not a part of your sets, not even affiliated with your sets, they can talk about it. And Wack doesn't even respect it, because he gets on here and talks bad about street dudes, about the rules of the street, the laws of the land. He gets up here and talks bad and talks down on it. But you get up here and you scream Pyru on Pyru every time you do something. But Wack putting the politics out here in the content, I feel like that's something that should have been checked a long time ago. Like, he should have been checked about bringing any of that up. And it's the fact that not only does he put Cali politics out there on blast, he puts other people's politics out there too, which then now brings other people into feeling like, well, if he could talk about the politics over here in Texas, he could talk about the politics over here in South Dakota, he could talk about the politics over here in Louisiana and Florida and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now they can talk about it too. He opened the door to something that's supposed to be sacred and kept to the chest, and made it content. He bought the feds. The feds are out here in these internet streets. And they watching and they're listening to everything that's going on. When you come and you click live and you down in them comment sections, they might as well go ahead and flash across the screen and have the little voice come on. This live is being monitored and recorded. See, when I tried to tell people last year about Wack having the feds, that them clubhouse names was mentioned in the feds, nobody wanted to listen to me. And that's the problem that I have with being in this sector. When I say shit, people don't want to hear me until a dude say it. Because I've said a lot of real nigga shit on this live, on these lives. I've done a lot of real nigga work on these lives, only to see my lives do little itty bitty numbers and nobody reshares and nobody reposts, and I'm not sweating it. But the thing that really ticks me off is that a dude will go and take what I said, take what I did, go do it on their podcast, go do it on their live, and they go up. And all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, you so real. You telling the truth. Where we at? 23? Motherfucker, you got that shit from the bar over here with that girl Henny, my nigga. Tell the truth. Are you scared to say you got it, your game from a woman? Fuck out of here. Truth will always be the truth, and it can never be disrespectful when it's the truth. I ain't never seen this many gangsters digging up paperwork neither. But I'ma just sip my coffee on that. Salute to them though. But I see the game. And it's cool. Because guess what? I'm still putting in that work. I'm still grinding, and Henny's just gonna go up from here, and that's it. That's all. I ain't stressing it. I'm not egotistical. I don't get up here with my chest poked out. I don't get up here and proclaim to know it all. I don't do none of that shit. I get up here, and guess what? I stay humble. But anyway, back to what I'm saying about these politics. So now I get it. When you got people that are really in that life, like feet on the ground, 10 toes down, out there in Cali, living that life, thugging that life, they got the scars, the jail time, they got the trauma, they got all of that from being a part of that life and a part of that world. Saying stay out of Cali politics, but it's hard for us to stay out of the Cali politics when it's become content, and that was the worst thing that could have ever been done, and that all started at the hands of Wack 100. He put the whole Cali out there to where now a person like me is talking about a DP, Wack getting a DP and a put off. But I'm not a part of those politics. But because language and verbiage like that has been used, it now becomes a part of the verbiage when you start talking about content from Cali. Because now outsiders are being given a real inside look into the inner workings of things within the Cali world. And that's crazy work. That's crazy work. So, at the end of the day, let's talk about some of this stuff that's going on. So I know y'all are like, Henny, what you talking about? You got a lot going on over here this morning, mama. You saying a lot of stuff, but we ain't seeing a lot of stuff. Well, guess what? Henny got it. Henny got it. And what we're going to start off with, we're going to start off, since we already talking about Wack and his flimflammery, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at what he had to say last night on Vlad. But we're also going to listen to this recording. Now, I don't listen to this person. I don't know this person. They popped up in my news feed, and I took a chance at listening to what they had to say and what they were showing. A lot of y'all already know him. Like I said, this is my first time encountering him. I'm looking for it. And I'm talking about the dude Aunt Hefe. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to play his stuff on my channel. I'm not going to do it. So what happened was there was a recording that was played on his channel, and apparently it came from off of a YouTube channel that he says he was watching. And the person on the YouTube channel is now saying that the reason why Big U allegedly unalived Rayshawn Williams is because Rayshawn was involved in a homosexual relationship with his son. Now, what I heard, and this is what I heard, this is what they said, and I'm repeating it. This ain't what Henny said. Henny is repeating what she heard. What I heard was that narrative originally came from Wack. That's what I heard. I heard it originated from Wack. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Nobody has sent me audio evidence of him being the first one to say that. But this goes back to what I said in the beginning of this, as to why is everything brought back to a homosexual allegation. Not only that, yeah, I thought about it, Reek. That's why I said I'm not gonna play that on my channel. I'll just talk about it, but I ain't gonna play it on my channel, because that's what I'm hearing too. That there's been a compromise that's happened. So I'm staying away from all of that controversy. I don't want no smoke on the internet. Okay. I don't got time for it. It takes away from the content. And I'm a content creator. I'm a connoisseur of content, meaning that I like to consume the content and give my opinion. And that's what y'all came for. So I'm hearing that that's where that came from. I'm looking at the platform I'm hearing it on. I'm hearing that allegedly this person has been compromised. I'm seeing that this person was just recently sitting with Wack. So now when people are saying to me, Henny, this narrative came from, because what y'all don't realize is it don't just be females that be in my Instagram inbox sending me stuff. It be some dudes too. Salute and shout out to y'all that be like, yo, Henny, you need to check this out because bop, 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 bop. And they be giving me the rundown, and I be going and I be checking it out for myself. And then I go and do my own 1-2 and use my critical thinking skills on all of that and put my own 2 and 2 together to come up with 4. And sometimes I put 2, 2 and 2 together and come up with 6. But that's the narrative. What I also want y'all to remember is Wack was the one who pushed, like I said in the beginning, the narrative about the DNA being underneath the nails. That's what he said. But now let's take a listen to what he had to say when he was up on DJ Vlad. Let's take a look at this right here. Let's get this screen. Let's get this screen together. Let's put it like this. Okay. This was what the title was. Wack 100 on false rumor Big U killed rapper because of gay relationship with son. So now the creator of this twisted tale is untwisting the tale. And wait, if you haven't heard it, wait till y'all hear the crap. This is why I said Wack take the truth, mix it with a little bit of shit, and gives you shit water. Because this man is the biggest bullshit con artist I've ever seen in my freaking life. I cannot believe that such a mongrel as him. We gonna do that just because. Matter of fact, I'll make it a little lighter so y'all can see. Come on, StreamYard. He takes a little bit of the truth, mix it with shit water, and he mixes it with shit and gives you shit water. He don't even give you piss water. He gives you shit water. Let's hear what he had to say while he was on Vlad.
10 years for the Mann Act.
Okay, Vlad, let me go back a little bit because Vlad was breaking down some of these charges.
10 years for the Mann Act. Go 30 years for bank fraud, 20 years for the Hobbs Act, 10 years for the Mann Act, tax evasion, 5 years, not paying tax returns, another 1 year. Basically life at his age.
Yeah, because he's 58.
Yeah.
He'll be 59 on the 29th of November. Him and Game share the same birthday. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for me to remember. He'll be 59 this year.
Salute and thank you for the super sticker, Vanessa.
Even if he was to get a 20-year situation,
with the
that
feds,
puts him out at 75.
85%.
Put him out at 75.
75.
And he still had the best case scenario. I thought about it, right? Let's say he was to get everything ran together up under 20.
Yeah.
And let's say he goes to Nevada, right? Because even on the murder case, they have some things and then they don't have some things. And even the motive,
I just want to clear up because multiple people have said this, like, oh, Big U, you know, or the victim had Big U's DNA under his fingernails.
No, that was wrong.
So I just want to address it.
No, that was wrong. No, that was wrong. But you was out here. You was out here blasting that. Matter of fact, he had 600 out here. Yep. He was over there on Clubhouse, face down, ass up. Yep. That's what he was doing. And now you want to say that was false. Even Trap Lord Ross, remember Trap Lord Ross called him out for that. And Wack act like he want to come across the table on Trap. Why you trying to go across the table on Trap Lord Ross when we all saw, we read the paperwork. We heard the paperwork. I think Nip mistaken Eric for Brick when he called him a snitch. Possibly. See, this is what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that like that right there, even Nino Black, salute to you and whatever you may believe. I can appreciate that where you gave what you thought and still gave respect to somebody else's opinion. And that's what I can appreciate. And that's what you call mutual respect. It's reciprocated. Because we all gonna see things from a different perspective. And like I said, I'm not on the ground in Cali. I don't know the rumors. I don't know any of that. And you absolutely right. You know, people that are close to this situation know more about the situation than we do. You understand? But now let's get back to this piece of shit right here. Because he's out here now talking about that was false. But he was out here running it and running content on it like it was 1,000% correct.
On Vlad TV, they're saying the DNA was inconclusive for Big U.
It was Tory Lane style,
right? But definitely not the driver's DNA, but inconclusive on the Big U side. So it could be or it could not be, but that's a reasonable doubt.
Well, the driver was, the driver from LA to Vegas, they say was Sylvester Robinson, right? So if you read the paperwork, he stays at the studio. Right now, where the things they have with them reading the indictment paperwork is they have his phone going off at the studio, right?
Hold on, let's pause this for a second. Because now he's going into what the paperwork says, right? He's going into what the paperwork says. But prior to all of this, when people were trying to call him out based off of what the paperwork was saying, Wack wasn't trying to hear it. That's what got him sitting up there threatening Trap Lord Ross, because he was calling out what Wack was saying versus what the paperwork is saying. Now, if y'all remember correctly, wasn't Wack out here talking about Sylvester Robinson snitched on Big U? And that's how they came up with that inconclusive, because Sylvester Robinson, unbeknownst to Big U, sat down and told them people that Big U did it. Yo, hold on. I promise I'm gonna get back to the comments in a second. But Henny Glass is in the chat if that's correct. That he was saying Sylvester Robinson, the driver, was the one who snitched and said that it was Big U. I remember that. If I gotta go dig and pull that, I will go dig and pull that. I swear to God, I'm not making that shit up. I swear to God, he said, thank you, Swagger Low. You remember that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Because I know I ain't crazy. I know I heard what I heard. And now he ain't even mentioning Sylvester. He talking about the paperwork now.
Have the witness, which is security guard, stating that he did arrive to the studio, him and Robinson. That's where they say he pulled his gun because he wasn't expecting anybody. That was Marley Marl's studio. Marley Marl.
Now, I told y'all when this first happened that was Marley Marl's studio, but that's because I got that information. Now, at the end of the day, listen to what he's saying, because he's adding shit that ain't in the paperwork. He's adding stuff to the story that's not in the paperwork. So he's creating a scenario. Oh, the security guard, Marley Marl, was over here and the security guard wasn't there. So now my question becomes, did you talk to Marley Marl?
Marl's out.
I'm going to rewind that part so we can listen to it without me commentating and y'all can catch what he's saying. So did you talk to Marley Marl and get this story, or are you creating this narrative just like he tried to do when they sat up on that damn podcast and he was talking about what's not there? What are you not getting? I had this person at 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock. When he did all of that, whatever time of clock he said, none of that was in the paperwork, bruh. None of that was in that paperwork. So at the end of the day, are you creating this, or did you get this from Molly? Let's hear what he got to say.
Which is security guard, stating that he did arrive to the studio, him and Robinson. That's where they say he pulled his gun because he wasn't expecting anybody. That was Marley Marl's studio. Marley Marl's out with a chick at the Aria Hotel. He's on the strip. He don't think nobody's coming to the studio. He's not there, right? So this is why the security wasn't alerted that somebody was going to show up. So you got the security identify them getting there. Then you got the phone going off. Where it gets a little weird at is you have the time the phone went off, they went to an Airbnb. The Airbnb Ring camera catches Big U and the individual going into the Airbnb. So that creates a timestamp, right? That's the middle. They got the time the phone went off in the Airbnb. It also shows what time they left the Airbnb. And allegedly from that document, it says the victim had his suitcase and everything with him. So what they did was, the next time the phone comes on, it's back at the studio.
Right.
So it's a 48-minute triangle. So what they did was, the time to get from studio to Airbnb, they have that at like 15 minutes, right? So if that's in 15 minutes, if they'd have went straight back to the Airbnb, then you had 30 minutes, right? It's an 18-minute lapse. So what they've done was they went from studio to Airbnb where they can see the Airbnb time. And then they went Airbnb to where they found the body, how much time it takes to get there. And then they went from where the body was found back to the studio where the phone came back on, right? So the Airbnb kind of is in the middle of it because it kind of like puts everybody somewhere.
Now, before we allow old three-finger duty shooter PP Liquor to continue, yada mean, I missed that. I'm not even going to hold you. I did miss that. But let's go over here to the paperwork. Oh, shoot. Henny, you scrolled away from it. Hold on. There we go. Let's go over here to the paperwork and let's fix the screen so that we on the court doc screen. Let's go to the paperwork and see what it says. It says, at approximately 1:13 a.m., surveillance footage at the Airbnb again revealed a dark gray or silver sedan arriving to the Airbnb. RW exited the passenger side of the vehicle and entered the Airbnb. A few minutes later, at approximately 1:20 a.m., RW exited the Airbnb with a suitcase, put the suitcase in the trunk, and got in the dark gray or silver sedan, which departed. The Airbnb, though, was rented for another day, and RW was not set to leave until a flight scheduled the following day. Both Henley's phones did not begin reporting location data again until approximately 2:15. Nowhere in there does it say that Big U was spotted on the camera entering the Airbnb. You want to go back a little bit further? On January 24th, 2021, the night of the murder, at approximately 7:04 p.m., Henley, Big U, arrived at the studio. According to witnesses, at approximately 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Rayshawn arrived at the studio and recorded a song for from approximately 11 p.m. until midnight. On January 25th of 2021, at approximately 12:37 a.m., Henley left the studio, and the dark gray Lexus in which he and Robinson had driven to the studio was no longer at the studio. It was no longer at the studio. At approximately 12:58 a.m., Henley's phones stopped reporting location data of any kind, with the last data recording within the vicinity of the studio. I'm going to say to you what I don't see in that paperwork. What I don't hear is that Rayshawn got in the car with Big U. What I don't hear is Big U was at the Airbnb. What I hear is he left the studio in the car that him and Robinson, which was a dark gray Lexus, he left the studio in that car. But it does not place Rayshawn in the car with him. Just hear me out. Then when we get down here and they get to the Airbnb, they don't say the dark gray Lexus. They're very specific to say dark gray Lexus when Big U pulls out of the studio, right? But when they get to the Airbnb, they're saying dark gray or silver sedan. They're not saying dark gray Lexus. So I question, if you are able to say that it's a dark gray Lexus that Big U left in, why aren't you saying it was a dark gray Lexus that pulled up to the house, and you're just saying that it was a dark gray sedan? Not only that, it's not saying in this report. This is what I'm saying, what it's missing. What it's not saying in the report is that Big U was in the car, that they saw Big U on camera in front of the Airbnb. This is what's missing from this right here. So now you have three-finger duty shooter out here spinning a narrative saying that this is what they said, that they're saying that he was in the Airbnb. They never said that he went into the Airbnb. They said Rayshawn went into the Airbnb and got his stuff and put his stuff in the trunk of the sedan and they drove off. What they're saying is that Big U's phones had stopped reporting somewhere around the studio vicinity. What they're saying is his phone was turned back on. Let's get to the part where it says the phone was turned back on. At approximately 2:30 or 3:30 a.m., Henley returned to the studio alone in the dark gray Lexus. Do you hear the dark gray Lexus? But when they're at the Airbnb, they don't say the dark gray Lexus. Okay, let's go up a little bit more. Okay, it says, based on investigators' test drives and research, the drive from the studio to the Airbnb would take roughly 17 minutes. After Henley's phones stopped reporting location data when they left the vicinity of the studio, the dark sedan arrives at RW at the Airbnb 15 minutes later, which is consistent with traffic patterns after midnight. The drive from the Airbnb to the location where RW's body was found and then to the location where Henley's phone began reporting again is roughly 42 minutes. Okay. The time from RW left the Airbnb to when Henley's phone began reporting again is 48 minutes. But it never tells you where his phone turned back on at. So what I'm saying is, he's now adding stuff into the paperwork that ain't there. Then when we get down here, because he's going to talk about the DNA, when we get down to the DNA part, we already know the DNA part. We already know that the DNA profile obtained was not complete, likely due to the aforementioned inclement weather on the night of the murder. Analysis of Henley's DNA profile was inconclusive. It was inconclusive such that he could not be excluded as a contributor of the DNA. Robinson, on the other hand, was excluded as a potential contributor of the DNA found on RW. Oh, I have the same energy for Diddy. I have. But see, the thing is, when I talk about Diddy, just like, let me explain to you, Uncle Tone, go back in my videos. I found another house associated with Diddy in Westchester, New York, in Scarsdale to be exact, that had a U-shaped driveway, and that was a white house. So while they talking about New York penthouses and Hampton homes, ain't nobody going to that house though. I get in trouble on this channel. This is why my channel always struggling. It's always shadow banned. But I keep the same energy for Diddy as well. So now when you get into what's not there and what is there, it makes a difference. But now let's get back into what Wack is out here saying on Vlad. Because like I said, he's going to get into the DNA as well. Let me get my screen back how we had it, honey. Boop.
I think they found whatever they say they found. I don't even think it was on the body. It might have been on the sock or something like that. Whatever they say. It's kind of like how they had Tory Lanez.
It was on the ankle area, around about where the sock was, where he was dragged into the desert. That's what it is.
His case. It could be, could not be. So when you got the security and you got the Ring camera footage, right? That's the kind of like, but you don't know. There's no gun. I don't believe they had a vehicle. You can fight the the DNA, and the motive is a little off because this song I didn't.
Yeah, the motive was the biggest thing for it because like, okay, so Big U killed a rapper nobody has ever heard of doing a song nobody will ever hear.
Yeah, but they're playing some song and I'm listening to it, and I don't hear no. Me
So
knowing
you say
Big,
you heard the song?
yeah, they played the song.
Oh,
Right, that is supposed to be, but it like references the big man with the money, something about a 38.
Has anybody else heard this song aside from him? Because I heard somebody play something, but it didn't sound nothing like that. And basically what he's saying he heard is what's in the court docs. Let's keep it a G. It's always Vlad giving him a platform to spread his lies. Girl, you beat me to my punch after we finish this. That's what I was going to say. He get up on Vlad so that he can elevate his narratives. He starts them on Clubhouse so that they can be snatched up by his media team. Then they go and put them up there on all of the Clubhouse medias that he got out here, all of them, okay? And they run his content up over here on this level. Then what he does is get on Vlad to elevate it, and he gets on No Jumper and elevates it even more. Okay? This is like diabolicalness at its finest. But now he talking, this is what I was saying before. Okay, this is what I was saying before. I was saying, what sense does that make when this young man, nobody knew of him, nobody heard of him, nobody knew nothing about him? So if he did a diss track, why would he be unalived? Why? Nipsey was well known. Nipsey did a diss track and was getting a DP, not unalived. DP and Black Sam stepped in the middle of those politics. Now, from my understanding, again, I'm an outsider. To my understanding, an outsider stepping in the midst of politics is a no-no. Is a no-no. But like Big, you said, if that was his brother, he would have did the same thing. He did say that. But now, here Wack is trying to turn the narrative. All of a sudden, Big U is no longer this super villain that he's out to get. Now he's trying to change it up. Let's keep listening. And you are right, Cannon. Anybody, not just gang members, a lot of people will sell their souls. They will sell their souls for a little bit of clout and a little bit of what looks like a bag. And that's the sad part, because people will sell their souls to get a couple of moments of fame. Not even something that's a generational thing, just a temporary self thing. That the powers that be that give it to you can snatch it away from you just as quick as they gave it. You better wisen up.
But it doesn't really, it's no diss. But even if it was
so
a
it's
diss,
not even a diss song.
No, listen, it's not a diss song. I didn't hear no diss song.
Okay.
Right? And
That's
even
crazy.
if it was a diss, right? I could see Big U lining him up with some of his little homeboy.
I need that.
Yeah,
Y'all
doing it himself?
I need that.
No, I can
At
see
age 57 at the time?
that
Ridiculous.
just didn't make- and then now they got this weird thing now, which it kind of, I hate to say it, it kind of helps his case, because now the narrative is the victim and Big U's son. And I'm gonna tell you where they got this from. In the indictment, it's a phone call allegedly from Big U to his son, right? And he says, don't talk about the murder of R.
Now he's saying allegedly. Now he's saying allegedly. He wasn't saying allegedly when the mother was out here saying what she was saying. He wasn't saying that then. Oh, he was out here co-signing everything. He was out here saying it like everything was the gospel truth. Wasn't he? Now all of a sudden there was allegedly a phone call between him and his son.
W to nobody. Now, when people hear the son right now, the only son that people's looking at is the one that plays for the NFL, Deion Henley, right? Big U has 3 sons, right? Deion's not a gang member. He doesn't participate in street activity. Nice young man, watch him grow. But this is the part that's getting weird. Now they're saying, well, Big U's motive wasn't the rap song. It was that he found out that the rapper and his son, Deion, were lovers. And he was scared that if this got out, he will be affected in the NFL. Now, there's a few key things. One, there's people that have came out in all sports that it doesn't affect.
Yeah, there was
But 2, let's get to the real part of it. I've been knowing this young man since he's been about 7, 8 years old, right? There's nothing feminine or nothing gay about Deion Henley, right? So I don't know who started that one.
Let me tell you what I don't like. What I don't like is the fact that he keep putting that boy name out there. That's what I don't like. I need to see how it's looking when it's looking how it's looking with y'all, if I'm leaning to the right side. Because, you know, on my side, the screen is here. But on y'all side, the screen is here. So I need to make sure I'm sitting right. Because sometimes I be hiding behind it and don't even realize it because I'm thinking that I'm out the way, like I'm getting out the way of it, and I'm actually leaning towards it. So I am in the right position. Now, boom, you keep saying this boy's name, this young man's name. You're trying to attach this young man's name into this because you are trying to bring him into it and fuck up whatever he got going on with the NFL. And I'm telling you right now, content creators that start using Deion's name, y'all will be deemed a piece of shit in my eyes. Even though it don't matter to y'all, it will fucking be deemed a piece of shit in my eyes because this boy is out here in the NFL. Do you know how hard it is to get into the NFL and the NBA and all of that? He's off trying to break a generational fucking curse. Leave him out of the chat. Envy, jealousy seethes through his pores. That's why his face fucked up. Let that young man do what that young man is doing. Leave him out this shit. That's how I feel about it. Period. Y'all lean on that like, y'all.
Yeah, me and Big U got our problems, we got our issues, but whenever it came down to his children, I've been in situations since we've been at it where I've stepped up to the plate for his children. And you know what? I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Maybe 2022, 2-ish or 2023, in the heart of our beef, my daughter and her mother went to Crenshaw High to the celebrity basketball game. A bunch of people sending me pictures. Yo, Wack, man, you better get some people up there, right? So in the picture, you know what I see? About 8 feet, 5 feet behind them. Guess who I see?
Big U.
Big U. And when I seen Big U was that close to him, you know what I knew? They were good, regardless of what me and him going through.
Now that's crazy work because remember when he said Big U's son was at the studio and somebody was getting ready, somebody pulled a big old knife out on him and he stopped them and he let Big U's son get out with the person and get his off. And he said, Big U would have never did the same thing for me. But now here you come on Vlad talking about your Kim, say her name, Kim, Kim, and your daughter were at Crenshaw High, which is Big U turf. And you telling me that Big U was there protecting your wife and daughter in the heart of your beef. But you sat up on this very same platform. You sat up here on Vlad TV and said that bullshit the last time. Now you want to come and say this shit? Like all of a sudden, the Grinch got a heart. All of a sudden, you out here trying to make it, oh, well, you know, Big U. Now he wasn't that bad. All of a sudden. Because the internet sees you clearly. All of a sudden.
Right? They were good. And this at Crenshaw High. This 2022, 2023. Like, people sending me photos like, yo, you better.
You remember that Diddy Live, right, Miss Lisa? And that Diddy Live did not get a lot of views. See, when I come on here, the problem is with my platform. When I come on here with the damn truth. I'm really exposing through public records. Okay? I'm not out here spinning narratives. I'm going through the public records. And I'm finding shit because I'm going to dig and find it. Let me tell you something. I wish I could get one of my exes, more so my oldest, their father. I wish I could get him up here because he'll tell you my detective work as a woman. As a woman, we all have this inner detective where we going to dig and get down to the bottom of it. We going to find out. So I decided to take that superpower and use it in a different direction. Then I got a team that do the same damn thing. It's a force. It's a force to be reckoned with. Uh-oh.
But once I seen him in the picture in the building, I knew I didn't have to worry about it. Same way with his son, with his middle son, right? He was in the situation, I was in the building. And I made sure his son got home safe. So in this situation, they need to kill that. It's nothing. They said, oh, he wore his jewelry. Hey, it's grown men today that wear other men's jewelry. Watches, chains, medallions. I see it all the time. That doesn't make them to be lovers. If they homies, they homies.
Well, I mean, why would you want to kill your son's boyfriend? What's that going to do? Not make him be gay?
Well,
just find a new boyfriend.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Unless
but see,
it's like a older man molesting a young boy, then I get it. Now, if you say RW was 40 and his son was 12 or 15, then I can see why you might kill that guy. But just as a father,
I know
a regular boyfriend who's the same age as your son, who cares?
I know all his children.
I'm just saying it's all bullshit.
All his children. I know all three boys. I know his two daughters. His one daughter is like, I think she's older than his oldest boy, vice versa. I know all their characters, all their demeanors. Dayon is a total opposite of everybody else. Calm, cool, collective. He ain't got nothing to do with the streets. He's athletic, right? His oldest son is probably the closest thing to being like Big U when it comes to just being quiet and subtle, but explosive when he want to be. The middle son was always what I say our headache because he was just the busybody. You get what I'm saying? But none of them have ever displayed any signs of going that route. And it's kind of crazy that since he's in jail that they're saying that. He I believe he led his team in tackles at the Chargers. All he did was work hard his whole life to get to that playing field. It's a sad thing his pops was going through what he's going through, and then that they're even tying him to something that has to do with somebody that was a close friend of his. But it's even more savage for the internet and somebody in the media that probably live in Maine somewhere to come up with this narrative that people right here are really running with, right? People that say that like they cool with Big U, right? Me and Big U got our issues, but when it comes to certain things, especially involving the kids, they not there to be attacked like that, especially under false pretense. That's what's crazy.
You want to know what's crazy? And we're going to have to take it inside because Henny Studios is starting to heat up, which means the computer is not taking too kindly, even with the fan going underneath it and all of that. It's not taking too kindly to it. What's even crazier to me is the fact that that's your man's. That was your mans in them. And you started this whole campaign. You started all of this. You came up here being expose the exposers. You ain't have to go into no details about nothing. You didn't have to say nothing. You didn't even have to talk about his kids at all. You ain't have to bring none of them up. Yet here you are trying to be a big U defender when all you've done is tear down everything that man did, and we watched you do it. We listened as you took your victory lap around the internet streets regarding this indictment. We've listened to you in hate, seething hate, talk about Big U like a dog. And now you want to defend? The internet don't forget at all. What's crazy is y'all know that there is a connection. Exactly. He went on an internet tour. Facts. Non-stop. And anytime somebody brought up Big U name, he would get enraged. Nah, we don't know how to search keywords in the transcripts. I'm trying to figure that part out myself. So when you figure it out, let me know. Now, the crazy part is, in the midst of all of this, y'all know Wack and Reggie Wright like this, right? Y'all know they like this. Reggie Wright is now asking for credit. I can't make this shit up. Even if I wanted to, we're going to have to go inside, y'all. My bad. Y'all gonna have to deal with some janky shoddy sound right now. And please don't come for me, because I know there's people in the chat that be like, Henny, don't put your phone in your bra. Take your phone out your bra. Well, child, listen. I got to get y'all inside. And I got these tiggo bitties, and y'all know it. Mm-hmm. And they pockets. Okay, they pockets when I ain't got no pockets elsewhere. All right. My hands are full. And we going where it's cool, because I got to cool my device down. Y'all don't understand. Florida heat is nothing to play with, baby. What you said? You said, I know how to on a computer, not a phone. I don't even know how to do it on the computer. How to search a transcript. Come on, y'all. We going inside real quick. Whoo, baby. Look at that sun. I need to get out here and get me some sun in my life. Migo standing there looking for me. Anyway, y'all know Reggie Wright and Wack 100 go way back. Ow. They go back to the Suge Knight days. That's how far back they go. And I've already played for y'all how Reggie Wright was deemed an informant, somebody who was talking to the FBI. Get into this content though. They go way back to the Suge Knight days. And now all of a sudden, because Reggie liked to be funny, so let me go ahead and do this. Or matter of fact, I ain't even got to do that. You know what I could do? That. And y'all will still hear it. All right. Y'all said loud and clear. I'm good. All right, cool. Cause that little Henny Studios and that tin shed, baby, I got to get me some AC up in there ASAP. And I just been dragging my feet with it. But now Reggie Wright did a video, and the video is, did Reggie Wright sick the feds on Big U and No Jumper staff by saying this? So now it's coming off like Reggie wants credit. It's giving, hey, I said something too. You know what? No, because I want y'all to see this. Well, at least know that it's there.
I noticed y'all saw me and John been taking a little vacation, but we'll be back to taping real shortly. But just wanted to come back with y'all. We couldn't leave y'all hanging, and we just did a little video, put it together. Well, reminding y'all, once again, things that I predicted years ago starting to come true. So y'all know I just like to tap, even though I don't really have no skin in the game with either Adam 22, Brick Baby, Big U, or even Loose Cannon. But just to show y'all some things that we have talked about, I exposed to y'all before, and now it all seemed to be coming true. So
things that I exposed to y'all before that all now seem to be coming true. So now you want to jump in and you want credit too? That's what it's giving to me. Period.
y'all enjoy it. Peace. Small first. Check in on us weekly. Save y'all super chat money's available because we definitely be doing a whole bunch of streaming like we used to do in the olden days all week. Peace out. Happy Sunday.
But I know this, Big U from 60 Crips and Suge Knight, niggas would, that's where that check-in term shit started back in like 2008, 2007, 2009. T.I., Ludacris, all those niggas was paying those niggas to negotiate stuff that was happening on the West Coast.
That's July 20th of 2023. So Reggie Wright was out here running his mouth too. And he wants y'all to know that he was out here running his mouth too.
They was paying for protection while they were here?
Or to check in, or to let you know, or to say that I'm having a problem with this dude, or this person, can y'all, make sure it go away? I remember a major thing with Ludacris and T.I. that was going on back in, I was in the truck with you, and we saw Ludacris walking around, and she was like, look at that scary motherfucker walking right there. He was like, yeah, I just had to make sure it was cool for him to be walking around because I had to get some shit between him and T.I.
They didn't want to be getting extorted. Big U and Suge were out there in the mid-2000s. When I'm talking about 2005, 2006, 2008, they were making niggas pay. Wack 100 and all of them, those niggas was pulling up on everybody.
August 20th, 2023. He says Big U, Suge Knight, and Wack 100. Let me go back.
2008, they were making niggas pay. Wack 100 and all of them, those niggas was pulling up on everybody.
So Wack was a part of this check-in, according to Reggie Wright? Now, Reggie was talking this back in 2023. By this time, Wack was already in full-blown campaign. He was in full-blown campaign on his Big U press tour already. And Reggie Wright was over there dropping little breadcrumbs too.
And making niggas pay. Might be a little later, might be 2006, 2007. But and they used to play good cop bad cop. Suge press one dude, Big U will go and be the savior. Big U will press one dude, Suge will go be the savior. Those niggas that's why those niggas are tight. They still partners, I believe.
Notice how he ain't mentioned nothing about what Wack was doing, but you mentioned Wack's name. Interesting, right?
Well, that's where the street legend or the street myth stuff start coming in.
December 29th, 2023.
But people hear about things that happen. Yes, Suge did cut a check to Big U before for $80,000. But that was some work that they did. Because those niggas was were getting money from rappers in the mid-2000s. No, the $80,000 that was given to Big U to open up a after-hours joint, just so y'all know, whoever's close, know I know what I'm talking about. That came from Suge and Big U extorting some of y'all rappers from the South. That's all I'll say. T.I. and Ludacris. Y'all remember that fight? For them getting in the middle of stuff like that. I'll just say stuff like that. I'm not saying them. For the reason that they used to get paid and they were splitting up money. Or do I find it funny?
February 4th, 2024.
That the Crip dudes are letting this Pyru dude play them like a motherfucking puppet. I'm sure she'll go and insert herself in it somehow and probably be calling Big U if he haven't already did and get involved in it because that's a major big topic right now. And that ain't the Pyru that I was talking about, been playing all these Crips like a puppet. I'm talking about Wack.
Now, I'm gonna pause this right here because this is something that a lot of people have been saying. This, I think, the only statement that I'm like, well, we all feel the same way, but I don't want to say nothing because I ain't over there, so I don't want to be responsible for saying nothing. But this is what Reggie Wright saying.
That situation is not going to end well. It's real dangerous. It's not going to end well, y'all. I told y'all 2 weeks ago, I said that shit's about to blow up over there. That stuff over there that they're doing is
March 19th, 2024. Miss Lisa, yes. And guess what? I played the video already where Wack had already said that him and Big U fell out late 2020, early 2021. They started an investigation on the Rolling 60s in August of 2020. And an investigation into, was it? Wait a minute. Let me go back to let me go back to the paperwork because I don't want to misquote my dates. Hold on. Because we're gonna go back to the paperwork. Let me pull that up in the paperwork. Want to make sure I say it right. That's the items to be seized. Hold on. February 2021 is when they started launching an investigation into, February 2021 is when they launched their investigation into the Big U enterprise. So I was right. In August of 2020 is when they started their investigation into the Rolling 60s. Wack said they fell out around that time. Yeah. My.
the game, having that many game members and alcohol, drinking on the set, smoking on the set is just not a good chemistry. And that's going to be bad over there. That's nothing that would happen. I mean, I get it. I'm about views. Hey, man, Adam he's straggling the line. He got people around him. I'm surprised. If that would have happened on Palm First, the cameraman that's sitting right here would have quit immediately on the spot. But I'm telling y'all, on Melrose, whatever that address is, something's bad is going to happen over there.
Tony, what you mean? Would you convince you dude to tell if he was in a situation facing life? Let's hear it from a wife's perspective. Well, first of all, from a female's perspective, I would not tell my dude what to do. I come from, my daddy raised me that you don't snitch. So for me, if a dude decided to snitch, that ain't my dude no more. That's just me. So I don't want to press upon anybody my beliefs on anybody. But my thing is this: if you did the dirt and I was enjoying the fruits of the labor of your dirt, and you got to go park up for life, this is my life now. This is my life now. There's consequences to a person who snitches if you going by old school rules, not these new age ones where it's cool to snitch. The old morals, codes, values of the streets, ain't no snitching. If you did it, you did it. And you got to go sit up for what you did. And you got to own your shit like a man. And as a woman, if I was enjoying the fruits of your labor, if I was in partnership with you, I'm obligated. I have a moral obligation to be there with you. You said motherfuckers been snitching since forever, Henny. Stop it. Have they though? Have they though? Because I know personally people who are sitting up doing long bids because they didn't snitch. You talking about Nikki Barnes, Frank Lucas. Listen, you talking about these sensationalized people. Ain't nobody denying that people haven't been snitching. But the question was to me, would I tell my man to snitch if he was facing a life sentence? And that's my answer. It wasn't about any of that. My dad was not a snitch. My baby father, not a snitch. I'm not saying that people weren't snitching, but you know the codes. That's why Nikki Barnes, Frank Lucas, matter of fact, who was it? Wasn't it Frank Lucas? He got out and witness protection. Back then, you don't snitch and come home and you get to make a career and do podcasts, and you don't get to do all of that when you a snitch. When you a snitch, you got to protect your neck. And not only that, anybody close to you got to protect their neck too. But that's how it used to be. Somehow or another, we've evolved into a culture where we're divided on snitching. Me, the reason why I'm okay with pulling public records and digging and doing my due diligence on public records is because it's public record. Meaning anybody and everybody has access to it. But to get up here and talk about what I heard or what I know from a street level, or what I know a lot of things about stuff that's going on in the hood that I live in, or that I lived in, I should say, because I'm no longer in the hood. I am in middle class America, darling. Okay? I am a civilian. I'm a civilian now. But I know a lot of stuff. And if I was to get up here and start talking about stuff that people haven't caught cases for, talking about the rumors about who caught a body and who did it and where they stashed and all of that, if I start getting up here doing that, that's snitching. If I can't go pull it up out of Pacer, if I can't go get the court docs for myself and read the court docs, if I can't go onto a website and pull the information up, that I'm not telling. And what I just said about rumors about bodies and all of that stuff is allegedly. I don't know none of that. I wasn't there when nobody was committing no crimes. I don't know nothing about any of that. I just know the rumor mills about things. And all of the rumor mill stuff is alleged. Ain't no facts to it. I can't tell you where nobody did nothing. So don't go out there. Don't come for me because I don't know nothing. But if I can go pull it in a court doc and I can bring it to the internet and be like, yo, common sense would say X, Y, and Z because that's the common sense of it, then that's different. I don't even like talking about this Big U stuff because he ain't been convicted of nothing yet. He's not even in trial. Now, you in trial and something's going on, we could talk about it. Because evidence starts coming out then. Like that Soulja Boy stuff. I talked about it because it was a case that's already in progress. And look at what happened to him. He lost that suit for $4 million. Now he's trying to say that the peoples is coming to get him. That it was a setup and a stick up and all of that. You absolutely right about that. Content is the new word for snitching. Dry snitching. That's a whole fact. What y'all are in these comments saying. Everybody ain't cut from the same cloth. Now you can be an employee for snitching. Facts. Get a bag and make a career off of it. And that's a fact. All I know is my name and my address. Hello? Hello? I don't even know the ninja I had kids with. I don't know him. Ma'am, but you was with one for 10 years and the other for 7. I don't know them niggas. I don't know them. The feds tell them dudes it's 50 years or tell on this nigga and we gonna get away. And listen, let me tell you something about people who falling for these Fed games. If you got a criminal record and you still out here breaking the law and you still doing stuff because you think you untouchable, guess what? When you are no longer of value to them, when they no longer have to protect their asset because you are an asset to them, because you're giving them information that they need, you're giving them intel, you're able to infiltrate whatever it is that you do as a snitch. When you are no longer deemed of value to them people, oh, they coming to get you. Yeah, they coming to get you. They just stacking it up. And when they feel like you ain't an asset no more, you are now more of a liability for them to keep than an asset, you going to Click City. Your ass is gone. You might end up on the snitch unit because you got to be in PC. You can't run the risk of running into motherfuckers. They gonna get you. And if they really don't give a damn about you, they're gonna put you in general population and let them do what they do to you. Yeah. Baby, you better listen. She said, I'm a whole civilian. Keep your lifestyle away from me. If you're doing wrong, I can't remember what I ate 2 days ago. So any questioning of me would not be a fan. I can't even remember if I ate this morning. What you want me to do? I don't know nothing. Okay. Civilians that pay taxes isn't considered snitching. That's the ones in the game that will tell on a friend before they do 10. Listen, I hear you. But see, there's a lot of people that were in the game, in the streets, that have turned civilian. That's a gray area right there. That's a gray area. Not even dry snitching. They flat out snitching. That's a fact. Thank you for the super chat. What you say? I don't know. That's a fact. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nobody. I wake up and stay in my house. Wack is next. That's why he trying to play clean. Listen, I'm here for it though. I'm here for it. And I really don't even like to see, our people going into Click City, but the diabolicalness of his workings, his inner workings and mechanisms. Yeah, nah. I would have told the feds, thank you, because I didn't know he was my baby daddy. I didn't even know this dude. This ain't what I knew. I know nothing. Are you serious? Is that what you're telling me he did? Oh, I don't know if he was doing that. I don't know that person. I don't know the person you know. Damn. He's not next. He has immunity until he is of no more value to them. Remember that. Come away from that's priceless. Oh, thank you. With no gang stuff, period. Okay. Anyway, y'all. Oh, let me finish this up because then I got to skedaddle because I got to get ready for my other channel. I got to go live.
Real soon. Because they've been very, very wild with their content and with their threats and with the atmosphere that's going on over there.
I told y'all someone got shot up there in the leg. He's been trying to deny it.
That's May 22nd, 2024. He is talking about no jumper, y'all.
But you see who the liar is. Can't take no credit from what Adam has done with his channel. He's done a great job. He gave people opportunities. But don't try to hide behind and backtrack now that the heat is on. I try to tell you to clean up your outfit over there. Stop having those dudes coming in there drinking and smoking. And get them, and you be there to watch and secure that location. Make sure your business, your employees are protected. But you wanted to have the gang summit every week on your show. But I like Poetic Flacco. But I want to just warn Poetic
July 1st, 2024.
Flacco. You be starting some shit, dog. you be agitating and pointing out some shit. Because that shit that's going on with Brick Baby, my boy Loose Cannon, and Wack 100. I call him my boy, right? Man, those niggas, they playing chess with Brick Baby. And that DW Flame and all of that situation. I know that's been big on the YouTube today and yesterday. And so that shit's gonna get bad. I keep telling y'all that no jumper shit gonna get out of control. But I just want to tell Poetic Flacco, man, start getting some shit cleared that you be releasing and inserting yourself into. Because remember, dog, you from North Dakota. You're not from out here, man. And they gonna turn on you and flip that shit on you real quick. Because trust me, it's gonna be the topic of subject this week. And something bad's gonna happen. Hey, y'all, I'm making light of it, making fun of it. Hopefully you brothers get on the phone and work it out. Because I can see potential in that situation blowing up real bad. Because yeah, y'all doing a little bit too much with that situation and getting on the phones, taping niggas. Just want to advise y'all. Pretty much everybody nowadays got shit on their phones where they recording conversations. So when niggas start asking you questions that ain't talking shit about themselves, come on, y'all. Usually believe y'all being taped and recorded. We call ourselves content creators. Nah, nigga, we all being messy.
Nah. Y'all being messy. Y'all being messy. Talking about who we being messy. Who is we? Y'all came up on this internet doing what y'all doing. And y'all make yourselves content every time y'all open your mouths. But now my question to y'all is, was he outing Adam 22? Is he warning Poetic Flacco? Was he putting the information out there ahead of time? Because remember, he started this video in 2023, and now we are in 2024 of him talking. And Wack has been on his Big U campaign for 3 years, which means Wack started in 2022. So at the height of everything, as Wack said in 2023, Reggie Wright is talking.
We all being messy. People wouldn't believe how much content that I could have had if I wanted to release some shit. Just gonna remind y'all, you remember I used to get in 60 business and all of that? And I told y'all a while ago how a certain individual, Big U,
October 28th, 2024.
they got picked up early in the morning. I remember I used to talk about that. Maybe I talked about that with Wack on Clubhouse. I don't know if I did talk about it at Ball first, because I generally like Big U, so I usually don't talk about him. But I did mention that he got picked up one early morning, and I don't know what happened, and I left it alone. But the main thing I want to talk about, and just remind y'all, I'm just throwing stuff out, because I don't want to get in it, but y'all know Reggie Wright be trying to tell y'all shit. You out-of-towners, y'all just don't catch it. But y'all remember when I had mentioned and talked about Brick Baby, and I learned to like Brick Baby, to be honest. But I was like, damn, I have never, ever seen a dude that got caught with an assault weapon or, a weapon that's clanny going back and forth, in the for a federal case. Because once you out on bail or bond or whatever on the feds, they test you. And I was like, this dude be admitting to taking perks and smoking weed or no jumper and all of that. And I'm like, how's this dude out fighting a case? And y'all say, because it's legal in California. Well, it ain't legal federally. And so when you're on federal pretrial, trust me, y'all, you can't be smoking weed, taking perks, taking no prescription drug or no drug if you don't have a prescription for it. So I'm just gonna remind y'all that we talked about this about a year ago, and y'all just see what these dots end up dropping in a little while.
We're gonna let this be the last round. You know what I'm saying?
And see, the thing with Reggie Wright is that it's like
Now, this is Adam 22 speaking on Reggie Wright, but I really don't even care about what Adam had to say about Reggie Wright. If we're gonna be honest about the situation, I really don't care. But it feels to me like, and I could be wrong, but it feels to me like Reggie is the unspoken person who has been out here right along with Wack, putting stuff out there, just little bits here and there. And the little bits here and there that he puts out, they go overlooked. But now Reggie is putting his breadcrumbs out there because he wants to let it be known that he was making these quote unquote predictions first. That part, Joey Westside, I agree 100%. They're overwhelmed with the urge to be popular. Child, they are willing to sell their souls for this clout. I fail to comprehend how this ex-police gets on these platforms and talk gang business with known gang members, and they feel comfortable with that. Gregory Walmack, because he was a crooked police with his own gang ties, allegedly. But was it you that read Brick Baby's court docs that he was wired last year? I don't know if the court docs, I don't know if I read that part or not, but I did read Brick Baby's court docs. I was the one who said he was permanently detained and that he wasn't coming home via pretrial, like he wasn't going to be out on bond or any of that stuff. I may have, because I read his paperwork, but I don't know if I got to that part because I've read so much paperwork. So please don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head, because content is like overwhelming at this point with all the content that's coming out. But anyway, you guys, thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in this morning with Spike Coffee with That Girl Henny. You know, like I said this morning, we have to stop this court of public opinion and, you know, basically spinning narratives when people haven't even been deemed guilty in a court of law yet, but we've deemed them guilty without any hard evidence or facts to go off of. You know, Wack is going to continue to be Wack. I honestly, like, I really don't feel like there's very much to continue to say about him. There go my alarm. That hasn't already been said. But if he bumps his gums and I find it something worth talking about, then I'll talk about it. But we're gonna keep our eyes on all of this stuff, but we're gonna start branching out into some other areas as well. But I thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in. Oh no, I forgot to do that. I thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in with your girl for Spike Coffee in the morning with That Girl Henny. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday through Saturday is when we are here. Sunday, I am off the public platforms. Okay, that's what I will say. I'm off the public platforms on Sunday. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. And I may start including another segment this week. I'm not sure, but y'all may get an evening piece from me. So stay tuned for that. But love is always love, y'all. Remember to vibe high so that the bullshit don't stick. And we are out of here, everybody. Enjoy.